Hey guys, in this video I am going to implement the take damage function in the player. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to open up the player script. Okay, we will assign the max health of the player. Okay, as well the attack damage function. So we're gonna open the player script. Okay, so let's we're gonna assign max health of player. So we're gonna do over here on the top. Okay, we will call public. Okay, public integer. Okay, we will call it max health. Okay, max health, and by default we are going to set it to 10 units. Okay, 10 units. Okay, so the player max health is 10. Okay, if it goes below 0, if the max health becomes 0, so we're gonna destroy the player. Okay, or we will end up like an end screen. Okay, so also we need to make the take damage function. Okay, so we will make it public. We will call this function to another script, so that's why we should make it public. So we will call it public. Okay, public. We have to type void because this is a function, so we can call this like take damage. Okay, we're gonna pass but it will take argument. Okay, so let's int, we will pass let's say damage, and we're gonna replace this damage with real number. Okay, 1 2 3 4 like that. So we just have to do max health minus equal. Okay, minus equal damage. Okay, so minus equal damage. Okay, so what we are doing, whenever we call this function, it gonna subtract. Okay, it gonna subtract a 1 unit from max health. So let's suppose max health hour is 10, so let's suppose this damage 1, so 10 minus 1 becomes 9, so max health became 9. And if we are again calling this function, then 9 minus 1, which will be 8, and so on. So when it's becomes 0, so we gonna destroy the player, or we will make a end screen. Okay, so we also need to do if. Okay, if max health. Okay, if max health is lesser than or equal to 0. Okay, means we means if the max health. Okay, if the max health is 0, we're gonna do return. We're not gonna subtract anymore. We're not gonna subtract more. Okay, when it's become 0, it's already become 0, so we're not gonna subtract. So that's why we type in here return basically means after return whatever you write in it own work. Okay, so return does that thing. Okay, so we will call this function in the enemy attack. Okay, so you had just have to do control s on your keyboard and head back to unity. You will able to see. Okay, you will able to see an max health field. Okay, max health field of player appearing about. We assign it by default 10 units. Okay, we assign it by default 10 units. So just wait for compiling it. Okay, just wait for compiling. It will take time. uh, so as you can see, max health is 10 unit. Okay, okay, so max health is 10 unit. So whenever the player, okay, collide with our, as you can see, whenever the player gets near to enemy will transition to attack animation. Okay, like this. If I select the attack like this. Okay, so over here. Okay, when he collide, if he collide our player. Okay, if he collide our player, so we will trigger this function, take damage for function, because we collided with enemy sword. Okay, whatever enemy weapon. Okay, so we will call that. So we need to open up the enemy script. Okay, and double click it to open up in Visual Studio. Okay, so over here, as you can see, when the enemy attack. Okay, and when the enemy attack, and if this circle. Okay, if this circle collide with our player layer. Okay, we assign it player as a player, we assign it player as a player layer for layer mask. Okay, so if this circle collide with our player layer, as you can see player layer, and we assign it over here player, player layer to player. Okay, so if this collide with, so we are just printing out the player name. Instead what we're gonna do, we're gonna call, okay, we're gonna call heat dot, okay, heat dot get component. Okay, heat dot component, we will player, we will, okay. So what we are doing, so we whatever we hitting, okay, whatever we hit, whatever it colliding with, if the if the circle colliding with our player, so this what so if, so this becomes true. Okay, so and what we doing, we are going to that game object and getting the component of player. Okay, okay, so as you can see, player, we assign it player as a player layer. Okay, so we are going to this script. Okay, as you can see, firstly we are just checking what we if we hitting or not. If that is the case, we are taking the player script and dot, we have to make dot. Okay, dot take damage function. Okay, over here as you can see, as an argument we will pass 1, so it will subtract 1 unit of every attack. Okay, if you pass 2, okay, pass 2, so it will subtract 2 amount, so 10 minus 2 becomes 8, so we will do 1, so 10 minus 1 becomes 9, and 9 minus 1, whenever we collide, this function get triggered. Okay, whatever we colliding with, okay, obviously we colliding with our player layer. Okay, and player has player script, so what we are doing, we are going to hit, okay, hit and getting the player script. Okay, player script, and from that player script we are calling this function, and this function, whenever this function get called, it will subtract, it will subtract 1 unit. Okay, as an argument we pass 1, so it will subtract 1 unit every call. Okay, whenever the this collider over here, the enemy collider, okay, this circle, if this circle collide with our player, then we are what we are doing, we are going to collider. Okay, whatever we hit with, okay, obviously we hit with player, so we are going to play hit dot, then getting the player script from that player script. Okay, this is player script, so from this player script we are calling this function, and this function will subtract 1 unit from max health. Whenever, let's suppose, first time it will be 9, and second time it will be 8, and the third time it will be 7, and so on. And then when it become 1, okay, 1 minus 1 becomes 0, so max health becomes 0, and this function, this over this line won't call whenever it hits 0 or below 0. Okay, we are putting return. Return means this, after return it won't get call. Okay, so we will check what we will firstly we're gonna print out debug.log. Okay, debug.log, we will say player diet. Okay, player diet, control as on keyboard, and add back to unity. You will able to see, okay, you will able to see the player health get subtract whenever the whenever the enemy goes to attack animation, and if the circle colliding with our player in the certain event, we set up an event attack. Okay, so player will lose health. So if we do, okay, if we play, you will able to see that. Just wait a minute to compile it. Okay, it will take a time. Okay, as you can see, if we if we as you can see, It's not subtracting. Okay, we did some mistake, I think. Max health. Okay, so we did some mistakes. Minus equal damage. Okay, in enemy we are hit dot get component dot take damage as in 1, so we need to set to 10. Okay, you can set to 5 by default. Let's say we set it to 5. Okay, just wait for compiling it. Oh, wait, so the functions not calling. I think we have forgot to save. Control S. Okay, control S and I head back to Unity. Okay, we need to control S. We need to press control or hold down control and press S to save that. Okay, the script. So that was the reason for not calling the function. Now if we hit play, enemy will if we get near to enemy will transition to attack animation, and the circle around the enemy weapon get triggered, as you can see. 4 3 2. Okay, whenever and now player died, as you can see. So what's happening over here? So whenever this goes to attack animation, okay, the enemy goes to attack animation, and then if we select the enemy, okay, uh, over here, as you can see, attack function, we are triggering the attack function. Okay, and attack function, if you take a look attack function over here, as you can see. So when attack function get trigger, okay, when we are just triggering over here. So attack function, firstly we are checking. Okay, we are creating a circle around this attack point. Okay, as you can see the green gizmo. Okay, we are creating a circle. Okay, about this much of radius, attack radius. Okay, and we are just assigning the player layer as a layer mask. Okay, and if this circle collided with player layer, okay, as a layer mask, if it collide with our player layer, hits become true. And if it's true, then what we are doing, whatever we colliding with, we are getting the player script first. Okay, as we know, the player, we assigned the player as a player layer, so that's why we just getting the player script. Then from we are calling the take damage function, and take damage function over here, as you can see, it will subtract max from some unit from max health. Okay, whenever this hits 0, okay, whenever max health becomes 0, we are printing out this player diet. Okay, player diet message, and then we are returning. Okay, after this function on get call. Let's say 1 minus 1 1 minus 1 became 0, so max health became 0. If we don't write return, so 0 minus 1, so it will become minus 1, which will go negative value. That's why we write it return. Okay, it own will call after whenever the player hit max health. Okay, that's what's happening. Okay, if you'd have any question regarding this, you can comment below. Okay, if you are really new to my channel, then subscribe it and hit the bell icon to get new notification about game development tutorials. Okay, mm, and lastly, thanks for watching. Okay, I see you soon in the next tutorial. Okay, thank you.